This might be a little bit too involved of a question for tonight, and if so, you just let me know and we'll save it because it's a evergreen type question. But you alluded to a certain high school a few minutes ago being not necessarily being a Miami school. So I would love to hear a breakdown at some point of you kind of running through the major schools in South Florida and where those kids seem to lean and why.
Oh wow. Um, Palm Beach Gardens, Dwyer. Those kids go to Florida because their former coach Jack Daniels wanted their kids to go to Florida. You had the random guy Johnny Dixon who went to O State and everything, but yeah, that's a feeder school. American Heritage. Those kids go all over the place just because it's a high level prep school, private school kind of thing. You're going to have high level athletes. The thing about it is most of them are not going to come to Miami, as we saw from and Mike Rumpf was the head coach there, and so there was that thing about missing out on guys from where you used to coach. With the exceptions that I've already mentioned, Nessa Silvera, Kylian Herbert, and now James Williams in this last class. But more often than not, those guys are going to go elsewhere. St. Thomas Aquinas is a similar kind of a thing. They just have too many guys to really be a feeder school anywhere, although Miami does really well getting guys from Aquinas. Recently, though, Michigan and Florida have been major players there. Throughout, not super recently because they haven't had a high caliber recruit like that. But Miramar High School, where I used to work, those guys went to West Virginia in droves because the former coach, Damon Cogdell, he went to West Virginia, and then there was that connection and everything. P.S. By the way, that was the first blog I ever wrote, was the Miramar, or the connection between Miramar and Morgantown, West Virginia, which are 1,094 miles apart, I want to say, if what I blogged years and years and years ago. He says, Joey Bosa wasn't going to come here. Like, no, and I hear you, Ronan Jones, but like, there was no need. Like, he made it very clear. Like, we're going where we're going. Dad went there, uncle went there. We moved from there down here. We're going to Columbus. Like, but that was St. Thomas, but like, again, those guys are going to go everywhere, just because there's so many of them. Including the Doomerville cousin, the offensive lineman. He went to LSU this year. You know what I mean? So, like, yeah, you're not going to get a feeder from any one program. Miami Central, you're going to get guys who go everywhere. There's a lot of guys who are going to go, FCS from there. In terms of their major players, it's really going to be between Miami and FSU for those guys from Miami Central. Every now and then you're going to have other guys pop in. Miami Northwestern, Miami has done very well there. Recently, we did decide to part ways with some guys recently in the last class from Miami Northwestern, and then they landed on their feet going other places like West Virginia, like I previously mentioned. And then you're going to have Texas Tech is going to get a little bit of those guys, of those scraps as well, just because Jimbo was at Florida State, so he has those connections still, in the state of Florida. So you get two guys from Miami Central going out to Texas Tech.
Texas A&M.
A&M, excuse me, A&M, excuse me. There's another Miami, Booker T. Washington. Those kids are going to go a lot of places. Miami's done well historically at Booker T, but then you also have Florida has got some guys from there, Florida State, the big three, and then, some guys are going to make their way elsewhere. Norland, another one. Miami's done well there, but then also, Isaiah Walker chose Florida from there. There was a linebacker, Emmett Rice, who went to Florida State. I just saw that he tore up his knee or something. So unfortunately for him, but he's a guy from Norland who chose, another big three school. You're going to have that. And then you're going to have the teams that pop up every now and then. So you're going to have your Miami Southridge, when you had Tyreek Stevenson was out there. You have South Dade, and they're going to have, different caliber of players from time to time. Right now, the new hot school of the minute is Miami Palmetto, in that super way south area. They have those five guys. We got two of them in the last class, Leonard Taylor and Rashard Smith. And then Florida got two of them. Corey Collier, did he go to Florida or State? I think he chose Florida. Because his dad went to Florida State. But so then Florida gets two of them. And then the fifth one, he went somewhere else. I think he said FIU or something, but his I think the height of his recruiting, Savion Collins, was as a high school sophomore, and then we kind of fell off. Miami Edison is a team that usually has a couple talented guys here and there, and they'll go FBS. They do have a couple of nice players there right now, and they'll cycle through. There's probably some schools that I'm missing just because there's so many. You know, Hallandale, that's another team that you're probably going to look at if you're recruiting South Florida. Carroll City, yeah, that's a major team that I missed. They're going to send guys everywhere. You know, Miami has a running back from there, Cam Harris, another running back, the one behind him, Nashawn Wright, went to Florida. You know, you're going to have guys, what's his name? T.Al. Jones-Bell, the wide receiver from there, the fast kid. He went to Alabama this last cycle from Carroll City. You know, you're going to have guys from Carroll City going all over the place as well. And there's so many. And like I said, you're going to have your traditional powers, and you're going to have those ones who decide to look. I'm going to call it spade a spade. You're going to have the teams that recruit guys to come over in droves to try to build up their program for a couple of years, strike while the iron's hot, and then it's going to bounce around to another team. How do you think that Flanagan ever won a state championship? You know what I mean? Like Devin Bush and Stanford Samuels, seniors and senior, they moved over there. They brought their son, Stanford the third. Oh, sorry. So Stanford Samuels Jr. So it's S3, and then Devin Bush Jr. And then they brought some of their friends. They recruited some other guys there, and that's how they won. And look, it happens. Miramar recruited when I was there. I know that. I saw these kids coming from under the Dade County Bridge, under the Turnpike Extension, which was the Broward-Dade County line. They get dropped off on the 27 bus. Oh, yeah, the 27 bus the 5 bus on 27th Ave, right there, just south of Broward County. And then they would walk. I saw it. I'm not saying that anybody is clean. Everybody does it. But that's the thing. So there's probably some other teams where it'll pop up, and you have teams at the smaller divisions, and they do it as well. But yeah, I think that a lot of those are some of the high notes in terms of like the powerhouse teams and where those players go traditionally. But obviously the performance of the schools over time will dictate a little bit of where the landing spot's going to be for the super elite recruits as well. And I didn't even mention Chaminade, where Miami's done, just done super great numbers. You have Champagnat Catholic. You have, the list goes on and on, bro. It does. And I haven't even really touched the 561. I haven't really touched Palm Beach except for Dwyer to talk about Jack Daniels, which is his real name, sending all the kids to Florida because he hated Miami. Then you got the Benjamin School in North Palm Beach, which is where Kyer Elam went. You had Oxbridge Academy, which is where Travis Homer went, and they kind of folded. You got the American Heritage Satellite School up in Del Rey, both owned by American Heritage Learning Systems. And, that's going to be a lower caliber of recruit because the better athletes are going to go to the home school, the one at Plantation. Yes, they'll drive down there. But then, randomly you're going to have guys pop up at Wellington, like Amon Richards' brother. And then the backup quarterback, I forget his name, but the backup quarterback from St. Thomas Aquinas lost that job in the spring of his junior year, said, okay, cool, transferred to Wellington to play with Amon Richards the senior year. So, they had the best season in school history. You're going to have Palm Beach Gardens is a traditionally strong school. They're going to be up and down Palm Beach Lakes. I haven't even really touched into, into that area or anything. But, yeah, there's everywhere that you turn. And, look, Pahokee, Glade Central out in the muck, I can keep going, and every school I talk, there's going to be players because that's what it's like here in South Florida. I'm telling you guys.
And that's why I hesitated asking the question and gave you the option to table it for another week.
No, that was probably like 7 minutes of just listing schools and
oh, that's great. Like that. I love it.
Yeah, but this is what we're talking about when we say that there's so many like Miami caliber players or like FBS caliber players down here. I probably named 20, 25, 30 schools and left off a bunch. And again, you could have the one dude at the school, and that could be the guy that they're coming to see. You know what I mean? It's just like there's so much down there. It's crazy.
Sasha, thank you so much for the super chat. Hi, Mark. Hi, Cam. Thank you so much for that, Sasha. You got time for one more?
I'll go to 8:30. No worries.
Our man JT Sounds is asking about Jacoby Spells, who's listed as an athlete out of American Heritage, 20th rated at his position, which again is that athlete, which typically turns into wide receiver or DB, and he's a top 40 player in the state.
Jacoby Spells, yeah, I think that we would look at him at defensive back more than receiver. And he's a guy with a lot of potential. He's fast. I think he runs either the 4x1 or 4x2 at American Heritage for their track team. He's been, on their football team there, and they've obviously developed a lot of great defensive backs over the recent history. James Williams being one, Earl Little Jr., who's a current senior or rising senior on that team. I'm going to put it out here right now. Earl Little Jr. is going to Alabama. He's not coming to Miami. Make your peace with it. And I know that Earl Little Sr. played in Miami, number 4. I hear you. I know you're probably screaming at your mobile device or laptop or tablet right now. Earl Little Jr. is not coming here. Get over it. But Tyson Campbell, Pat Surtain, all these guys, the Wilson brothers, when their dad, Chad, was the defensive coordinator. If you look back at defensive backs from American Heritage recently, they've been elite. And I think that Jacoby Spells, even though he's done a lot of things because he plays offense and defense, I think that he could be maybe not in that top level of recent American heritage defensive back. I'm not saying that he's going to be Travaris McFadden or something, who was a 5-star top 10 player in America, although his career did not necessarily pan out that way. But I'm not going to say he's going to be that kind of recruit, but he's somebody who I would definitely take in Miami. And he has good size and very good speed, and that combination of things, along with really good and developing skill coming from a place that develops defensive backs very, very well. He's a guy that I would definitely kick the tires on. And if Jacoby Spells wanted to be a Miami Hurricane, I would not be mad at it, not one little bit.
All right, folks, one more time on the free mask. Most of you are Miami fans, but we've got about 35 teams. So go to voiceofcollegefootball.com. And, of course, follow Cam on over at State of the U. What you got for us?
No, so we're just grinding, and everything. So, obviously JP writing about seniority has lit the world on fire. There's a lot of activity on that piece, a lot of comments, a lot of views and everything. And I don't think that it's out of bounds, at least to ask the question, if a measured youth movement could potentially help the performance. And, especially if we're recruiting all these guys, maybe take them off the sideline, put them on the field. Maybe, just maybe. So, there's that, which you can read. We got baseball coverage going on. Basketball season is over. Thank goodness, because that was a slog of a season. And Miami just had another guy who's going to transfer out of the basketball program. So it almost looks like a full wholesale turnover between this year and next year, with the exception of like 2 or 3 guys. So that's going to be rough. But, that's on over there as well. We got other commentary analysis. We got recruiting pieces and everything. And I expect to have a welcome to the U tomorrow for Ja'Cory Brown in the morning. So I'm going to finish pre-writing that now because it's the next tab over on my thing. So a little look behind the curtain. Sometimes when I know that things are going to happen, or I reasonably assume, I pre-write some stuff. So that's how I get it up. I don't write 2,000 words in 2 minutes, guys. I do have the quickest reflexes on the timeline, but not that quick. So, we have all that and more. So, just become, be sure you come on over and fan with us. We're Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at The State of the U. The website is always open 24/7, 365 at stateoftheu.com. And in case you want to see me talk about, reality TV and video games and other things like that, my personal account is at Underwood Sports. And I do talk plenty of sports, but today is Thursday, and I got to get caught up on Temptation Island and The Challenge and what airs on Thursday night? Something else. So I'll probably be tweeting about that and everything when I go out and run and get some dinner. Oh, and there's always House Hunters and things like that as well. And, random classical music. And so it's a smorgasbord, a hodgepodge of great content for you online. So come on over and check it out, see if you like it. But the main point is stateoftheu.com. If you haven't checked us out already, please do let us know what you like. Temptation
Island is still out there, huh?
And they rebooted it. Yeah. So they rebooted it. And then this is season 3 of the reboot? 2? 3. 2. Well, I think it's season 2 of the reboot. It's on like USA or something. So that's on my DVR to get caught up on. So I'm very excited about that.
Here's the deal, Miami fans. You've got it locked in here. I appreciate that. We do have a Miami channel. So full disclosure here, we cut up the segments, we cut up the live streams. And so if you don't typically get the live streams and you're not available, if you want to go through everything via topic, then you can do that on the Miami channel. But we also have exclusive, unique content there as well. So if you want the full array of Miami content, please check us out over there as well. Right, Cam, you gave us overtime this week. We appreciate it.
Right at 8:30, it was fun. So we'll see next time I see you guys. Have a good
stuff, man. Thank you so much.
No worries. See ya.